Hello, this is Michael Alma with Patriot Asset Advisors. Today I wanted to talk about a comment that a poster recently left for us on Facebook. As you can see based off of this post, the commenter was asking about the wisdom of taking a second life insurance policy. At first, the question confused and even concerned me a bit, and I honestly thought that this poster was trolling us, trying to get a reaction or a response, and maybe even just playing us for poor advice. The more that I thought about the question though, the more that I realized that this is actually emblematic of the way that I used to think about financial advice before I came into the field. Let me explain. Thanks to a rampant authority bias, generative AI, and ubiquitous search engines everywhere, we are trained to get instant gratification for any type of an issue that we might encounter. We're conditioned to believe that the answer is just at our fingertips. But in this case, as with most financial matters, this can be a dangerous assumption to make. The real issue with the Facebook comment is not so much the question in and of itself, but the lack of context regarding it. My first instinct was to think, why in the world would someone take another cash life insurance policy? But then I thought a little bit deeper and realized that there may be some circumstances that might require a second cash life policy, and this might be the best move for this particular client. The point is, we don't know from this one line of question. If I were to give financial advice based from this one question, I would be at best guilty of ignorance, and at worst, guilty of financial malpractice. And this is where I think a doctor analogy plays really well. If you were to come across a physician walking on the street, maybe you run into them at a restaurant, and you start telling them about your symptoms, maybe your stomach hurts, and without any further questioning, the doctor writes you a prescription for Prilosec and sends you on your way. How would you feel about that encounter? You might think that the doctor didn't care because they didn't give you a full examination. Identifying the root cause of any problems requires an examination of your full medical history, greater examination of the body. You might expect them to take you back to their office. Advisors are no different. We're here to help you reach your financial goals, but we can't do that effectively or ethically without first understanding your financial situation and circumstances. Asking the right questions should always be the first step of any new client-advisor relationship. Questions such as, do you have the income to get you through retirement? What's your tax situation like? Do you have assigned beneficiaries, and how much coverage do you properly have? Are all questions that should be a good basis before we get into the meat of any financial advice. If your advisor isn't curious enough to ask meaningful questions, that should raise a red flag for you. In finance, as in medicine, be aware of an offer for a prescription instead of a diagnosis.